Going to call the meeting to order. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the September 2nd, 2020 Municipal Land Use Board meeting. It's 7:30 p.m. And we're going to dispense with the salute to the flag, although I am going to make the statement that prior notice of this meeting has been given to both the Record, the Ridgewood News, been posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall. It's also been posted on our Borough website, and notifications been made to all those that we deem necessary. We have to worry about fire exits tonight and so forth. I do want to say that the meeting is being recorded to create a record, and that Councilwoman Michelle Kaufman is our host tonight. If you have any questions, you can certainly tune in to, let her know. There will be parts of the meeting where we open to the public if there's any public comment. And other than that, I think I covered most of that. We'll have a roll call, please, Ms. Stenley.
Okay, Mr. Mayor,
Here.
Mr. Kellyan,
Here.
Ms. Boland.
She's excused.
Okay.
She's welcome this evening.
Okay, Mr. Bartoloni. I don't see him yet. Mr. Merman.
Here.
Mr. Grasso.
Here.
Mr. Cray.
Here.
Mr. Caslin.
Here.
Councilman Kanigo.
Here.
Mr. Gibbon.
He had a prior commitment this evening. He won't be with us.
Okay, and Mr. Esposito.
Here.
Okay.
Okay.
And then for the record, Mr. Behrens is also here.
Okay, so just for the record, we do have a quorum for this evening, and we have some housekeeping to take care of first. You should have all received the minutes for August 5th and had an opportunity to review them. Does anybody have any comments on the August 5th meeting? And just a reminder, if you have anything, board members, if you can, please state your name first so we know who's talking.
And just, could you please mute yourself if you're not speaking? Sorry.
If there's no comments on the minutes, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the minutes of August 5th.
Merman will make it.
Okay, Mr. Merman.
Do I have a second?
Second, Mike Ray.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
I abstain. I was absent that day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I looked through my file and I do not see minutes for August 19th. Edwin, we don't have those?
No, those were not provided.
Oh, they're not ready. Okay. All right. So we do have two memorializations, I believe. We have the memorialization. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
For the Pat Dom, I did not receive the documents required in the resolution. The board can either decide to carry the memorialization, or the board can authorize signature of the resolution upon receipt of the documents, and then can go ahead and ratify the signatures at the next meeting.
Okay. I think the second option is probably the most prudent.
Okay.
Just a quick synopsis. This is Pet Dom LLC, 259 Johnson Avenue, block 1417, lot 3. And this was for a food handler's license. No, they already got that. I apologize. This is for front yard setback and for parking, because they were going to, they approved for some outdoor seating as well. This is not, the outdoor seating is not related to COVID. This is for permanent outdoor seating. So they had received their approval. There were some things that we required them to provide us with that they haven't, according to our attorney. So I think that we should ratify the approval, and I will hold off on my signature until I receive word from our esteemed clerk that everything is in place, and then we'll ratify the signatures at the next meeting. Is everybody on board with that?
Mr. Chairman, what's missing?
I spoke with the applicant's counsel today, and we haven't received the lease documents from her. And I had checked my previous emails, and I never had received the valet agreement that they were supposed to provide for the previous approval. So she said that she would get those back to me tomorrow. So I'll make sure to keep Ed in the loop and get back to you. So if tonight the board could authorize the signature for the resolution and then ratify the memorialization at the next meeting.
Just so I understand, since we're ratifying at the next meeting, what's the negative of just holding it all for the next meeting?
If the applicant, since we're having a meeting in 2 weeks, it's not really too much of a delay, but it's just timeliness for the applicant. But if the board would like to just carry it so then everything's done at one time, that's fine as well.
I mean, I'm not sure what the difference is between the two, if there's a negative one way or the other. I'm not looking to hurt anybody, but I also like to see everything done at once.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think so.
Mr. Dick Merman here. I believe the applicant would submit his drawings to Mr. Costa on that proposed text for review, particularly on the anchor.
Yes, that was one of the other documents that was required as well, the plans for the tent.
Correct. Well, okay, I think my opinion, Mr. Chairman, is we hold off to the next meeting. Okay, we've gone way out of our way with this applicant, and we're not anything reciprocal.
Michelle, is there anybody from Pet Dom on the call?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. All right. So we've had a discussion. Does anybody else want to weigh in? Mr. Merman, you want to make that in the form of a motion?
Okay, regarding, I'm just reading the paper here, Pet Dom LLC, 259 Johnson Avenue, Block 1417, Lot 3, that the drafted resolution be carried to the next regular meeting due to the fact that the applicant has not submitted the requested materials in a timely fashion.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any more comments from the board? Mayor?
No comment.
I'll call roll on that, please, Ms. Finley.
Okay, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Arkelian,
Yes.
Ms. Boland is absent, Mr. Bartoloni is absent, Mr. Merman,
Yes,
Mr. Grasso. Oh, I think you're on mute. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Cray,
Yes.
Mr. Caslin,
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo,
Yes.
Mr. Gibbons is absent, and Mr. Esposito.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll carry that memorialization to the next meeting.
No further notice is required. Is that correct, Ms. Finley?
No further notice is required. Correct.
Very good. All right, the next up is a resolution for 3 Newbridge Road, Block 1303, Lot 4. This was for simply a food handler's license and some parking relief. If you remember, they're putting in a sporting golf and ping pong and so forth. We heard it and we passed it. So the resolution is in front of us. You should have all had copies to, does anybody have any comments?
Mr. Chairman, Dick Mervin here.
Yes, sir.
I reviewed the resolution, and at this point, I have no comments.
Okay, did you want to make a motion to adopt the resolution, the memorialization?
Okay, there being no other comments from other board members, I'll make the resolution. Proposal for acceptance for food handler's license and parking relief for 3 Newbridge Road LLC, which is 3 Newbridge Road, block 1303, lot 4.
Do I have a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Ms. Finley, can I roll call, please?
Okay. Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Arkelian,
Yes.
Ms. Boland is absent, Mr. Bartoloni is absent, Mr. Merman,
Yes,
Mr. Grasso,
Yes.
Mr. Cray.
Yes.
Mr. Caslin was absent at the meeting where the, this approval was adopted, so we're gonna abstain from
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Councilman Kanigo,
Yes.
Mr. Gibbons is absent, and Mr. Esposito.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that passed. Next, we're going to go to a completeness review. I'm going to switch these around a little bit. I'm going to ask Mr. Tehune to unmute. This is 206 Berkeley Road, lot 902, I'm sorry, block 902, lot 18. And the proposal is to construct a shed, and he needs some coverage and setback relief. Mr. Tehune, are you with us?
I am.
Good
Sorry,
evening.
a little dark. Yeah, good evening. Thank you.
Okay, so,
At this point, we're just doing a completeness review. I reviewed the publication and notice provided by the applicant, and everything is was correct, and the board has jurisdiction to proceed on the application.
Mr. Barron's?
I've also reviewed the application materials and have determined that the application is complete.
I'd like to ask for a motion from the board to move this forward for hearing.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
That, I'm sorry, I missed. who that
Esposito.
was. Okay,
And a roll call, please.
okay, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Arkelian,
Yes.
Ms. Boland and Mr. Bartoloni are absent. Mr. Merman,
yes,
Mr. Grasso,
Yes.
Mr. Cray,
Yes.
Mr. Caslin,
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo,
Yes.
Mr. Gibbons is absent, and Mr. Esposito.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Tehune, you can go back on mute if you want for a few minutes. We'll call you in a few minutes. Okay, next up for completeness is the 7-Eleven on Kinderkamack Road, 584 Kinderkamack Road, block 619, lot 3. This is for a food handler's license. As you know, the Borough Ordinance requires any change of ownership to come back before the board for reapproval for any food license, and it requires a site plan approval. And that's it. So Ms. Finley?
Before the meeting, I reviewed the proofs submitted by the applicant, the mailings and publication, everything was correct, and the board has jurisdiction to proceed on the application tonight.
Okay, Mr. Barron's?
I've reviewed the application materials and the application is complete.
Okay. I'd like to get a motion from one of the board members to move this to a hearing.
all right, Dick Mervin will make the motion to move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the council,
Roll call, please.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Arkelian,
Yes.
Ms. Boland and Mr. Bartoloni are absent. Mr. Merman,
Yes.
Mr. Grasso,
Yes.
Mr. Cray,
Yes.
Mr. Kaplan,
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo,
Yes.
Mr. Gibbons is absent, and Mr. Esposito.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so again, I'm going to move around. No, I'm not actually. I'm going to go to new business, and we're going to deal with the 7-Eleven application first. So is Mr. Kara on with us?
Is that Kieran?
Beccarelli.
There's an applicant, the applicant's attorney.
Because there's someone as an attendee who's, it says Kieran. Do you know who that is?
He may be the actual property owner, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Hi, it's Bijoya. This is the 7-Eleven. I am the owner of this 7-Eleven.
Okay.
Are the applicants online here with us?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
so who's with us for this application? State your name.
Bijoya Manandar.
But you're the current owner, correct?
Yes, I'm the current owner. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And could you please just raise your right hand and I'll swear you in? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. And then could you please just state your address for the record?
The business address, right?
That's fine.
584 Kindercomack Road, River Race.
Okay. So could you just provide
Okay.
us with some background on the application?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
What happened?
Right, by the way, I'm just trying to explain what we just took over this store.
I'm sorry, sir. What is, could you state, I have to swear you in as well. What is your, please state your name and address for the record.
Okay, this is Sarad Manandar. And my address, home address is 128 Eagle Avenue, New Milford, New Jersey.
Okay, and then could you please raise your right hand? Okay, and do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And then could you just spell your last name for me?
Manandar, Manandar.
Okay.
I'm her husband.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I just want to be clear, you're the current owners or the new potential owners?
No, we are the new owner. We already started business on June 25th.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Quickly, I'd like to, so you're simply transferring, you're not making any changes, you're not making any changes to the outside, you're not doing changing any lighting, any parking, any garbage location, you're just taking over the business, is that correct?
Yes, it's just taken over and no changes at all.
Mr. Behrens?
Well, so as the applicant suggested, and I believe there's actually a separate property owner. And so again, the applicant is the new franchise owner of the property. I have reviewed the prior approvals, resolutions, and site plan. It seems that everything on the site is generally has been developed in accordance with those approvals. The one comment that I do have, having been to the site today, is that there appears to be some landscaping and maintenance that could probably be addressed to some extent. And I know the applicant is just taking the property over now, but at a minimum, there seems to be a few trees that have died that are probably in need of replacement. And again, some additional landscaping and generally sprucing up of the property. But otherwise, The dumpster area seemed clean, the parking area and everything else seemed to be in accordance with prior approval. So I have no other issues with the site.
All right,
We will
so
take care.
folks, if you receive your approval tonight, would you be willing to work with our planner to fix whatever landscaping outside needs to be done?
Yes, we do. We will.
Okay. I do want to just add real quick. I did instruct our clerk to get hold of the chief of police to find out if there were any issues down there as far as with the prior owner. I received a email back from Chief Caridi stating that there have been no issues and that they've been, it's been a well-run operation. And we're hoping that that continues with your approval tonight. And I just wanted to update the board that I did reach out to the police chief to make sure everything was going okay.
Thank you.
At this point, I'm going to open it up to the board members. Is there anybody that wishes to have any questions?
Dick Merman has a couple. Mr. Chair?
Oh, yes, Mr. Mervin. Go ahead.
I just need a clarification here. Is this application, I know it's a food handler's license, but is the property being transferred or is just the ownership of the property, or is it the franchisee that's being transferred?
Yeah, we are the new franchisee.
But you do not, do you own, are you going to own the property and fee or what?
No, we don't own the property.
Okay, so it's simply a an operation of the convenience.
Yes.
Okay, fine. I would add to Tom's list, I did view the site today, and besides the landscaping that he mentioned, I think that the rest of the property needs a bit of a cleanup, especially in the dumpster area. I'm sorry, Tom, I take a little difference to what you said there, but, and I'm sure that you would do that automatically, okay?
Yeah, we will do.
Yeah, okay. That's my comments, Mr. Chair.
Are there any comments from anybody else on the board?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to make sure that we adhere to all the noise ordinances, especially in light of past difficulties with some of the neighbors and some of the later delivery times.
Yeah. Do you agree to keep the delivery and everything the same as what was previously approved?
Yes.
Yes, we will not change anything from the previous approval.
Okay.
Thank you.
Council, good?
Good, thank you.
All right, so at this point, anybody else from the board? I'd like to entertain a motion to open to the public.
So made, Dick Merman.
Do I have a second?
Second, Caslin.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed, any abstaining? All right, at this point, we're open to the public. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak on this application? Not hearing anybody.
It looks like there is one person in the chat that has made a comment that said the individual's name is Kieran, and their comment is agree, noise, and signage. If Kieran is able to.
He left. He
Okay.
left, but he just said, please make sure the noise stays under control and the signage is proper.
Okay, so I'll make a note of that, that one member of the public commented.
And of course, the stipulation is going to be, again, they'll have to conform to whatever was approved in the prior approval. And the two things that were brought up as far as the landscaping and the garbage, they'll work with our planner to make sure that that is done properly. And they've agreed to that.
Yes.
So with that-
And
with
will
that-
the signage also conform to the existing signage, or is there going to be an updated sign?
No, it will be the existing.
Okay.
All right, so in that case, I'd like to entertain a motion to close to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? Okay, at this point, I'd be interested to hear a member from the board to move on this application.
Do you need a motion, Mr. Chairman?
Oh, yes, I do.
I guess I'm gonna make it. I'll make a motion for regarding the convenience store change of ownership of the franchise for 554 Kinderkamak Road, Block 619, Lot 3. I'll make a motion that the food handler's license be approved for the new operator. And we note that there's no site changes, that the applicant conform to all prior approvals for this site, and that the landscaping upgrade or
Repair.
thank you, be, as mentioned by the borough planner, be incorporated. And we looking forward to the new franchisee to do a thorough general cleanup of the entire site.
We will do that.
Second.
Do I have a second on Mr. Berman's motion?
Second.
Ms. Finley, can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Erekelian,
Yes.
Mr. Merman,
Yes,
Mr. Grasso,
Yes.
Mr. Cray,
Yes.
Mr. Caslin,
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo,
Yes.
Mr. Esposito.
Yes.
Okay. All
Oh, folks, congratulations. We wish you much success. Hopefully, I won't get in trouble for stealing the fire extinguisher again. Story. There was a car side of the building, and I was driving by, and the car was on fire. So I walked into the new owner, and I said, "Where's your fire extinguisher?" She pointed it. I said, "Can I take it?" And she looked at me and took it. Went outside, put the fire out, and then I wound up bringing it back. I wound up paying for it to be recharged, and then she called me a couple of days later saying, "Oh my God, you shouldn't have." I gave it to an employee. You shouldn't have done that. So we wound up donating the money to the fire department. So I have a story for everyone, folks. So good luck. We wish you the best of luck, folks.
Okay, thank you and welcome to our store.
Okay. So next up is Mr. Matt Terhune. I see him there with the baseball cap on. 206 Berkeley
Bye-bye.
Road. That's block 902, lot 18. And again, it's proposed he wants to put a shed in. It violates the lot coverage, it violates setback requirements, so he needs a little relief. Mr. Terhune, if you can unmute and say hello.
Yep. How you doing?
Good evening. So,
I'm just going to
we've
swear Mr. Terhune in.
Yep.
If you just raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And could you just spell your last name and state your address for the record?
Terhune, 206 Berkeley Road, River Edge, New Jersey.
Okay. Mr. Terhune, why don't you give us a brief description of what you're looking to accomplish this evening?
Yeah, sure. So I'm looking to put a 8x12 shed on the southeast corner of the property. The main reason I'm doing that is I have a single car garage. We purchased a house in 2014, pretty much almost knocked it to the ground 2 years ago. We're about to have our third kid, and my garage is pretty much exploding with, you name it, bikes, snow blowers, Minnie Mouse Power Wheels. Just have no room to put anything. So again, looking to put a shed over there, which is currently just a vacant space for additional storage.
Okay. Mr. Behrens.
So I concur with that statement. I think the board has received a copy of the property survey with the approximate location of the shed shown to give you an idea of what's being proposed. Again, it's an 8 by 12 shed, about 96 square feet. And so the variance relief that's being requested or that's required is firstly, the maximum improved lot coverage or impervious coverage will be increased to 39.8%. The maximum lot coverage or building coverage will be increased to 26.7%, where 25% is the maximum. And the particular location of the shed is within 4 feet of the lot line, where the minimum setback is 4 feet. So those are the proposed deviations. To the extent of the coverage relief, I mean, the property is developed the way it is. We're talking about a 96 square foot increase. I don't want to put words in Mr. Terhune's mouth, but it sounds like, having a neat place to store things might be a benefit to the community and may free up a garage space to park a car. I'll let him make that position if he wants to. The other question would be relative to the setback and whether or not this is the best spot for the shed or whether or not there are alternative locations that may or may not work. And so that might be the first question I asked Mr. Terhune is that in consideration of the existing property conditions, have you looked at other areas on the site that could accommodate a 4 foot setback in the rear yard?
Yes, I have, but there's nothing that's going to work back there just based on, again, having 3 children, the amount of toys and everything else. This is definitely without a doubt the most ideal spot for the shed. The only thing I'll note is that both my property and my neighbor's property both have fences. So while it won't be proposed to be set back within 4 feet, there are 2 separate fences between my property and also the neighbors. I don't know if that impacts anything,
Okay.
Will
So-
will the shed be higher than the fence?
the shed will be higher than the fence.
Okay.
Is it true that there's also, I'm looking at a street view image. I don't know if it's up to date or not, but is there any vegetation between the 2 properties in addition to the fences, or is it just the fence?
Just the fence. There's vegetation obviously in the front of the fence now.
Okay.
But no, it's just shed, fence, property.
Okay. Tom, anything else?
Well, so the board, in considering the application and the variance relief that's required, this is a balance test in weighing any perceived public benefits versus the deviations and any detrimental impacts there might be. In terms of detrimental impacts, we're talking about 96 square feet of coverage and whether or not the shed in the proposed location poses an issue or not. And that's for the board to deliberate.
The only other thing I would mention is that the shed will be on skids and it'll be above kind of a porous rock overlay for drainage runoff. So it won't be a permanent structure that won't allow for drainage kind of underneath the shed. So really not impacting the current site conditions.
Okay. Tom, anything else?
Not at this point, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So I'm going to go down the list of the board. When I call your name, if you have any questions, comments about the application. So Member Esposito,
Not at this time.
Chris Caslin.
Hi, Mr. Terhune. One question. What is the approximate distance between the house and the shed?
I'm sorry, you broke up there a little bit. Approximate distance between what and the shed?
Your house, the existing house and the shed, where at that location, what's the clearance there? Between
Yes,
the
it'll
two?
probably be about 10 feet, which is kind of the issue with me having a 4 foot setback. because the doors will swing out towards the house. So if I set it back 4 feet, I won't really be able to place anything around and into the shed. Hence the issue of me trying to put it, butt it up against the fence itself.
And just to confirm, the drawing looks like the stairs that were located there, those in fact have been removed?
Those have been removed. Yeah, that used to be an entrance and a door there, and we sealed that all off when we did the construction 2 years ago.
Okay, and then, so what replaced those steps? Is it macadam or is there grass?
It got filled in with brick to match the existing siding.
Okay. Okay. No further questions. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Chris. Michael Cray?
Yeah. I guess one question just to follow up on Tom's comments. Is your plan to use the shed for toys and lawnmowers, all that, and use the garage for a vehicle? I mean, I'm assuming right now you park one vehicle in the driveway and one in the street, typically?
We have a double wide driveway, so both cars are able to fit in the driveway as it is. But in theory, yes, we could park a car in the garage. But right now, as I mentioned, it's snow blowers, lawnmowers, pretty much everything else. It's like trying to play American Gladiator to get to the back of it. So my plan is to put everything into the shed that's in there, and then yes, use the garage to park a car and just have a little bit more.
Currently, yeah, but currently, then you typically park both cars in the driveway. Now.
Yeah, as it is. But as with when guests come, they park on the street.
Sure. I guess the other comment Tom had made about, other possible locations for it. I guess, can you kind of talk through why, like the back corner of the lot would not be feasible for putting the shed there?
So we have a small swing set that we had put back there. We have arborvitaes around the back of the house. Just from an aesthetic standpoint, it would kind of just look not right, pretty strange to just have a random shed in the back right corner of the property with all the landscaping that we've done back there.
Okay. All right.
What was that? Michael?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Grasso?
No comment this evening.
Mr. Merman?
Okay. Just for the record, by viewing the 2014 property survey, while the applicant noted the stairs were removed, he did also remove the walkway to that stair, so we deleted some coverage. But likewise, according to the Google Photos, some additional roof area and an overhang in the front was added. And likewise, the driveway was widened out from 1 car to 2 car width as stated by the applicant. So I just want everybody to be aware of it. Questions for the applicant? If you install this shed in your proposed location, are you going to be removing any of the large evergreens along that side yard?
No, we put all those arborvitaes in 2 years ago for the tune of way more money than I think I wanted to spend. So we purposely stopped the arborvitaes in the spot where the shed is going to be.
Okay, so you're not going to remove any of them, basically you're not touching them.
Correct.
Okay. I do note that you have a low, I'll call it 4-foot high fence from the corner of your house to the property line.
Mm-hmm.
And in front of those, you have some small shrubs.
Correct.
I think that you've stated that the roof ridge of the shed will protrude over the height of the 4-foot fence.
Correct. My intention is to eventually get a 6-foot high fence around the front to match the west side of the house that has a 6-foot high fence.
I think that might be a variance. No, Tom? Front yard fence at 6 foot is a variance? Mr.
Sorry, I
Barrett?
was on mute. Sorry, I was on mute. Well, I think what he means is from the corner of the front of the house to the side lot line. I'm not sure that it actually extends into the front yard per se. I think it, ends at that front corner of the house and goes laterally to the side yard. I think that's what.
Correct. Yeah, I wouldn't touch literally taking the paneling down from the existing fence, which I believe is 4 foot, and putting, actually, I don't think it's going to be 6 foot. It'll be 5 foot to match the left side of the house, the west side of the house, not 6. Apologies.
So basically,
All
you're
right,
at,
And
let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's not part of the application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So forget I even said that.
Um,
That's something I'm thinking down the road.
all right, so let's go back. Currently, it looks like there's an approximately 4 foot high fence there.
Correct.
There are some shrubberies in front of that fence, which you've also acknowledged,
Mm-hmm.
but they are lower than the 4 foot.
Correct.
Okay. I believe you also said that the ridge of the proposed shed is going to extend above the current fence.
Correct.
What is roughly the height of that shed? Would it be 8, 10 feet, 12 feet?
It'd be approximately 8 feet.
All right. My concern is one of aesthetics and view from the street. What I would like you to consider is if you took and planted a screening evergreen or two, perhaps replacing the 2 bushes that are there now, so that in a year or 2, it would pretty much hide the projection of 4 feet or more above the current fence.
What my intention was is to get matching siding of the fence to the house. So from an aesthetic standpoint, when you view it, when you come around Berkeley Road, it'll almost, from an appearance standpoint, blend perfectly into the house because the shingles will be the same color as the house and the siding will be the exact same siding that I used on the house. So it should, again, from an aesthetic standpoint, blend in pretty nicely as far as, in my opinion.
We're still going to see a shed rising above the front fence there.
Correct, yep.
How can we hide that?
Mr. Tierney, I think what Mr. Merman is asking is, would you be willing to plant 2 evergreens there so they would properly screen it from view in another year or so, as opposed to what you've got there now, where the height is pretty restricted because of the kind of bush it is?
Well, I do have one maple tree that is pretty immature, again, that I planted 2 years ago that will eventually grow. So I don't know if once that maple tree reaches its mature size, if it'll cannibalize where you're proposing I put 2 arborvitaes or 2 evergreen trees. I mean, I can definitely look.
Maple trees aren't really going to provide screening, especially in the winter.
No, I understood. I'm just talking about the actual square footage to plant 2 large evergreens. If those 2 trees will cannibalize once they grow.
All right. So what? Move the proposed evergreens closer to the street then. That's all. You can either move one. My point is a visual. The visual does not have to be next to the fence. It can be further in the front yard. All right. That's my whole point.
Sure. Yeah, I can definitely look into ways to screen the shed for sure.
Right. Okay. I believe that's about all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Merman. Councilman Kenningo.
I have nothing at this time. Thank you.
And then we go to our mayor, Mayor Papaleo.
No comment at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Last but not least is myself. I really have no comments on this application. I think that I certainly understand what he's trying to accomplish. I've had young children myself, and I haven't used my garage to park my car in 30 years of River Edge. So I certainly understand the issue with a one-car garage. So I have no comment, and at that point, I'd like to entertain a motion open to the public.
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? Okay, if there's anybody from the public that is tuned in that wants to speak on this application, I guess notify Ms. Kaufman.
There is not.
We have nobody. Okay. So I have a motion to close to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? Okay. So at this point, I'm willing to take a motion on this application.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll give it a whack. We'll see what we
Okay.
can do. The 206 Berkeley Road, River Edge, application for a proposed shed location, block 902, lot 18. I'll make a motion that the board consider approval of the improved lot coverage from 35% permitted to, I believe the number was 39.8%. Likewise, the maximum lot coverage of 25% permitted to, I believe the number was 26.7%, and that the shed in itself have a setback of less than 1 foot, approximately 6 inches, where the required setback is 4 foot. And the applicant has agreed to provide some front yard screening for a visual to block the projection of the roof of the shed above the street line, a visual screening. And I don't think I missed anything, did I? I think that's it, Mr. Chair.
Sounds good to me. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Finley, can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, one moment. Okay, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Kellyan,
Yes.
Mr. Merman,
Yes.
Mr. Grasso,
Yes.
Mr. Craig,
Yes.
Mr. Caslin,
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo,
Yes.
and Mr. Esposito.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion passed. Mr. Tuyun, congratulations. Good luck on your shed. Hopefully it'll give you many years of service. Pleasure
Thank
meeting you, sir.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.
You too.
Folks, just one quick update on our applications. One of our favorite applications, the Bergen County Historic Society. I spoke to their attorney yesterday, Mr. Barrett, and they did have a meeting with the state, but basically it was left off as don't call me, I'll call you. So I think he has some work ahead of him in dealing with the state on the parking and so forth. So we'll just keep holding it in abeyance. I will work with our attorney, find out if they do come back again, if we're gonna have to renotice or so forth. But as it is right now, it's nowhere. It's still on hold. So, but I was asked by a board member to check into it, and I did, and that's what I came back with. And anybody any questions on that?
Mr. Chair, Dick Merman here. Would it be to our benefit that he send in some kind of a letter saying that the project is on hold with the other governmental agencies?
I don't think we need to do that. I had a good conversation with Mr. Barrett. He understands where the board sits with it. And, I think it's something that we all want to see accomplished if it can get accomplished in the right way.
Right.
So he's working on it, doing whatever he can. I think we just leave it be for now, and when
All
he
right.
comes back, then we'll figure out the matrix into getting it back in order.
Okay.
Everybody in agreement with that?
Yes.
I don't have anything else. I don't know if anybody else has any comments. Okay, Mr. Alter, you're looking well. I'm glad things are working out well for our clerk. He's been through some health
Thank
issues.
you.
Looks well now, and it's nice that he can join us in the evenings on these Zoom calls. I do have a question. I guess I'll ask the mayor. Has there been discussion as far as resuming Borough Hall meetings and so forth, or right now we're just going to stay in a holding pattern?
So I asked the council to consider at this time whether they wish to discuss it, and the council opted not to discuss it. I think the council's feeling, and I certainly concur, is that as long as we can achieve all our goals and not diminish the service that we're offering to the residents, that we would continue to place our health concerns as a priority. And so I don't think the council is going to move to open, but council president's here and he may wish to comment.
I have nothing further. At this time, we just don't know what's happening with the COVID. Obviously, we're all hopeful that we're seeing the last vestiges of this horrible pandemic. However, we just can't know. So let's see what happens over the next 2 weeks to a month. And then if things really do slow down, as we're all hopeful that they will, we can certainly consider reopening everything. But for now, it looks like we're doing all a good job, and we're actually getting some more attendance, it seems, with the council meetings than we were previously, and perhaps even with some of these land use board meetings. So let's stay the course for now, and we'll revisit it in 2 to 4 weeks.
This body may be interested in knowing, due to the work that I and Councilwoman Kaufman has been doing. We have channel 33 on Verizon up and running. The cameras are pretty much ready to go. Cablevision hopefully will give us a channel. And when we return, and Michelle, feel free to chime in. And when we return, we hopefully will be fully live.
Yes.
That's great.
Okay.
Good job. Thank you, guys.
I know that our councilwoman has been working with Mr. Alter. So if she was busy or she gets tired of looking at our faces, Mr. Alter eventually will be able to take over hosting the meeting. And I'm obviously I leave it up to the mayor and council when we come back, but I'm certainly fine with the way things are going. We've accomplished a lot in the last few months and gotten a lot of applications through the pipeline. We don't really have any kind of backlog. We have some new ones that will be coming up, but we have no backlog whatsoever, which is more than most towns in northern Bergen County can say. So we've been doing a great job attacking the pipeline. And I appreciate everybody putting themselves out, especially in the middle of the summer or the end of the summer, to join us. And our attendance has been fabulous. So I thank all the board members for that.
So just to reassure you and to continue what Councilman Kanigo said, we've asked our BA, and our BA has also spoken to all our departments. And at this point, there is nothing that should be done that isn't being done in regards to services to the public. If a member of the public needs to meet with someone from the building department or another department, that employee goes out into the area outside the building, meets with them. So though the building is closed, it is still fully functioning. And I just want to reassure the public that all the work that needs to be done is being done, and that we have modified our practice in order to provide for the highest level of health safety.
Awesome. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councilman Kanigo, for that. We certainly appreciate the hard work that you guys are doing as well. On that note, if there's no other comments, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I have a comment.
Yes.
I wish all a safe and happy Labor Day weekend. And having said that, I will make the motion to close.
Second.
I'll second the first part of that. Do I have a second for the second part?
Second.
Mr. Grasso.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? Councilwoman Kaufman, thank you again for hosting.
Sure.
Thank you again, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Happy Labor Day, everyone.
Okay, happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day.
Have a great weekend.
Take care.
Thank you.